Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for making space and time in your lives and in your calendars to attend our event. I do say our because I do believe that we are about to co-create something that I don't even know how it's gonna look like. So it's ours. I take care of the logistics, but having you here with your energy, with your intention is just gonna make this an amazing event. Under the title, Raising My Voice. And yes, as most of you know, I published a book, with the same title, but it goes even deeper than that. It goes to my intention for this 3 days event is with the help of amazing 16 speakers and myself to help you guys really find your voice is there, you have it, you never lost it. and figure it out, what is it that it's covering your voice, what are the limiting beliefs, the fears, the whatever's going on for each and every one of us, right? We all have our own story, our own journey. But the intention is to help you unpack those limitations, those shadows, and let your voice come through in a way that is yours. It's authentic, it's original. We all want to hear you. We want to hear your story. We want to hear your message. We want to know your gifts. And all of that, the magic word is yours. So that being said, I am ready to trigger you a little bit or even more. I am here to break the rules, to no longer, at least for this 3 days, no longer follow other people's rules, because they are their rules for their story, for their journey. And we're just gonna step in our own power and courageously get curious to identify what are our own rules that align with our story, that align with our voice. Who's up for that? So exciting. Let me see. I tried to read all these messages. Super ready. Hi, everyone. Hi, Sonia, Jackie, Carolyn, Judy, Paul, Mena. Mena from Dubai, welcome. Oh, goodness, what time is it for you, lady? Marnie, I hope I say your name right. Who else do we have? Kenny, Ashley, Judy, Laura, Christy, Joanna, Amy. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. I am so grateful, so excited, so scared, so nervous, and everything else in between. All right, who else we have here? Richard, welcome. Val, welcome. Mena, welcome. Before I go into my story, for those of you that meet me for the first time, I do want to invite you to share in the chat, if you wish, just to inspire others as well. But most importantly, just write it down for yourself. Like, what is your intention for this 3 days event? Why are you here? Why did you even sign up for this event? Just put them in the chat or write it down for yourself. I want to invite you guys, and every day I will ask that. Just what's the intention? To prepare yourself, to open yourself up for receiving. What is it for you to have? Nobody has any expectation of remembering everything, and you know, there is no test after this, there is no exam. This is for you. I created for you, and as the song was saying when we started, um, my story is just not my story. It's so many other women's story and men, and everything that we are creating, we kind of created to what is it that I need in order to get what I want. So I'm gonna create that space, and this is what it is with this event, and I will share more about it. But ultimately, it's created for you. So when you show up for this event, it's important for you to tune into what is it for me to receive here? And then at the end of every day, to actually look into what is it that I receive? What is that one thing that if, there is a if I implement it in my life, it's gonna shift things around. You know, as a coach, and I know there is a lot of entrepreneurs here and coaches and mentors and teachers, we like in our coaching sessions to, in the end of the session, to ask our client, what is your aha? What is your insight? What is one thing that you take away? And my private clients know, and some of them are here, I just take it to a new level, and asking, what is one thing that if you implement it in your life is gonna change your whole life, as if you will never see me again, like this is it. And it's a little bit scary for our system to imagine that, oh, I just signed up for the program for 6 months or 1 year, and now she's telling me like this is it. Well, that could happen. That could happen. You could sign up for a program and all you get is one session. So it's really inviting the whole system to show up so powerful, like I'm fully open, and I'm gonna get what I need. I'm looking to the chat and see what we have here. As a divorce coach, my mission is to help women to find their inner voice. And I'm interested in what you have to say about this. Wonderful. Thank you, Marnie. So, and I'll be interested to see what did you get at the end of every day. Your intention is clear. Kick-ass lineup. Yes, I am just so grateful for all the guests that we have. And I do want to share with you guys, when I created this event, I really want to create something that I want to have. I mean, I did participate to so many summits, right? And I get to decide for myself what I like, what I didn't like. And if I will ever, one day, maybe I will host a summit, I will do it this way. And now we are here, way sooner than I imagined. So that being said, as a newbie in a coaching world, I wish my mentors will have taken me to put me on the stage with them and say, hey, I'm having this big event and I'm inviting you so you could practice how to speak, how to teach, and I'll be there for you. My story was different. My first public speaking ever was on a TEDx stage, and I almost had a heart attack. So what I learned from that is that when I create an event, I'm gonna bring my private clients and have them have their system calibrate to this space where it's, honest God, it's kind of weird. I'm here talking by myself, which I do not like. I like to talk with people, right? And I don't know who's watching, and I don't know what you guys are thinking, right? So in this lineup, we're gonna have everything. We're gonna have my clients that I'm bringing on. They're phenomenal people. They're doing incredible work in the world, and they're creating an impact. And I'm here to spotlight them and to support them and to introduce them to you. And then I have my colleagues, my friends, you know, other mentors, teachers, and coaches that are also creating such an amazing impact in the world. And of course, I invite my mentors. mentors, teachers, coaches that I coach with, that I learn from. So whomever is in the audience, regardless where you are on your journey, and there is a part of us that doesn't matter how much work we do, there is still a part of us that it's comparing with other people. If that part of you is activated today, I want to let that part to connect with, if you want, those 3 phases of journey, like just starting, like knowing what's going on, and then just being up there, like literally impacting the masses and having a, multi-millionaire business and so on. Thinking you're courageous and wonderful, beautiful, yes. All right, so now that you set your intention for yourself, like this is what I'm ready to receive, or I'm open myself up to hear about this piece, whatever it is for you, right? And then my invitation is to, how do I say this? I have a bullet point, like be open. That's what my bullet point says. What do I mean by that? It's a simple concept, but it could go really deep, and it's so vast, has so many layers. Being open to hear what you need to hear, and actually listen actively, engaging your whole system into this. Don't just listen with your ear, listen with your whole body. Allow yourself to be inspired, allow yourself to be triggered. Both of those experiences are valuable. When we are inspired and excited about, we resonate with other people, it's really our body telling us this is possible for you as well. There is a part of you that identify with that part of this person that is speaking. So make a note about that. And then when we are triggered, right, I'm saying that it's valuable because there is a part in us that is requires some attention. It's where we get to go in and see, okay, well, what is not settled there? What is that part of me that need a little bit of love, of compassion, or forgiveness, or upgrade, whatever it is that it's required? It's different for everyone, right? So we want to listen to as much as we can actively. And if you are a note taker, I want to give you the suggestion, see if it resonates with you. Make a note in 2 different columns, right? In one, write the things that inspire you, your insights, your aha, things that you love, things that you like. And in the other column, just write a word, make a note about the things that trigger you, that you don't like, that you disagree. Okay, because we get to have both. So the reason that I'm asking you to do that is after the event, you get to go back and look into your notes and actually identify again those parts of you that resonates with the training, the teaching, the speakers, right? And telling you it's possible for you as well. And the other column is, besides the fact, what is it that's triggering you, that you get to look in and do the inner work and address these pieces, it's also giving you get to step into them with curiosity. Like, here's a question that I like to ask. How does my work out for me? I might disagree with this, I might don't like it, but I decide to get curious. How does my work for me? I'm curious what the benefits could be if I take this and apply it in my business, in my relationship, in my work, in my relationship with my children or with the loved ones, right? Always looking for growth, yes. Be open to what I need to hear and receive it. Exactly. Wonderful. Thank you, you guys, for sharing that. All right, so then this is what I want to give you as well. Some of you know my favorite thing to teach is my copy paste formula, even though I hate formulas, but I need another word for that. Copy paste, and I'm just gonna give it to you in a couple of minutes. I don't want to fall into, oh my God, she's going to use my content, and we don't want to dive into the copyright things. That is a totally different story, right? But having an understanding that I was not born with all of this. I learned them from others. I learned them from my teachers. I learned them from my mentors. I learned them from society. I learned them from everywhere, right? So everything that I teach today is a result of what I learned from others and then implemented in my life, go through my whole process of transformation. And now I get to say it the way that it's working for me, the way that I believe in these concepts. So basically I copy everything that I ever learned, but I paste it with my personal print on it. And this is what I want you guys to invite you to do. Like, take everything and make it your own. And then go, like, take your first column of all the aha and insights and positivity and things that you love and inspire you, and go teach them to another person. And I promise you that when you do that, it's when you're gonna paste it with your print on it. Because it's gonna have your voice, it's gonna have the way that you receive it, it's gonna have your experience in it. The foundation of everything that we do every day, it's our past, it's our story. Our story brought us where we are today. Our story is where we go to find evidences for what we are capable of. Our story is little pieces from our past, and our story are the things that are holding us back from where we want to move forward. Because our story is valuable. And that's our voice, that's our print. So whatever we learn, like if we talk about scripts, and I know for the beginning in my coaching practice, I was the one, like when I was for my first certificate and we need to do skill ups, and we got this program for 12 weeks to take a client through 12 weeks process, and we need to do skill ups with other students just to learn how to walk through that script. I was the one that I did the script skill ups 8, 10, 12 times. First of all, because I needed to learn the language, English being my second language, and it was new terminology, and I need to learn literally new words. But second is just those scripts was so hard for me to read because they were not written by me, right? So we all start from just practicing, learning, reproducing, replicating, and then at some point when we actually take all that and we put them in and we apply it in our life, now we get to teach all this concept from a place of transformation, where we don't need scripts anymore. We get to have 8 bullet points for a 3-day event with 16 guests. Does this resonate with you guys at all? Are you tracking with me? Where is my chat? Here's my chat. Yes. Okay, good. Fantastic. So take everything that you learned from me and the other speakers and apply it. And here's the secret. It might feel that you don't have the whole recipe, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You don't need a whole recipe, because that's the things that works for me. What you need is what you need to receive, like a piece from here, a piece from here, a piece from there, and it's all you need. You take that, you implement it in your life, and the minute that you implement it and actively want to see how that might work for you, the pieces that you think they were missing, they will come to you. But they're coming from your own life, from your own experience, from your own action steps, on your own path. And that's what's going to complete your recipe, if you wish. And that's what's going to make that script, that concept, that teaching your own. Does this resonate with you guys? So who's up to try this? To be curious, to be open, to take the things that you love and you're inspired, and to take the things that you trigger and you don't like, and actually give it a try and implement it to see what that might take you, and just be curious. Yes, yes, yes. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, cool. I'm going to close this little intention in this opening the event just to saying that for me, every morning, my daily intention is to help one person to move forward and one person to be triggered. Because I truly believe they're both equally valuable. Some people are just needed to gain a new perspective, to be asked a provocative question that nobody ever asked them before, and just trigger them so they could look in and start their own transformation. And other people, they just need a little stretch so they could move forward. So that's my intention. Now, while we have over 300 registers for this event, I am saying, if I help one person and I trigger one person, I call it a success. That's that. And it will be interesting for you to define what will make this 3 days event a successful experience for yourself. Feel free to share in the chat. Others can find their own answers in yours or inspire them. But again, most importantly, just write it down for yourself. What do I need to receive so I will have a successful experience for this 3 days in this event? Just get curious about it. All right. How everyone is doing? How are we feeling? I'm not going to take you through many details because, hey, there is a book with all the details about my story. But I want to focus on this key moments of how my life changed when I accessed my voice, when I raised my voice, right? It's really been a journey of finding my voice. I don't know about you, but when I grew up, I was born and raised in Romania. Speaking out was not an option. It was just, actually was not allowed, right? It was not allowed. I was born when Romania was still a communist country, and two things that really impact my belief system, and later on to witness myself how I show up in the world as an adult. Two things what happened. First, as a collective, the whole country, we are afraid to speak out, right? Because it was very simple. The government could just lock you up. You don't get to challenge the rules. You don't get to challenge your rights. You might just end up in jail. So I grew up with fear of speaking up, with believing that if I say something, if I question an authority figure, and as a child, it's like any adult or anybody that's older than me was an authority figure, I might end up in jail. So that was the story. And then another thing was from inside of my family structure, right? I'm the youngest one of 3, and the way that we've been raised was the little one doesn't have an opinion. She doesn't have a right to have an opinion. She's supposed to listen to the bigger brother and the bigger sister. So therefore, I was not allowed to use my voice. And if that was not enough moving forward going to school, and I dare to generalize that to other countries as well, not just to Romania, is really fast I learned that if I don't have the right answer, I'm gonna get a low grade or I'm gonna be punished. physically. That was allowed back then. So therefore, what was the belief? The belief was, if your answer is not correct or perfect, you should shut up. So never speak up. So then you could only imagine how all that, show up in my adult life. And here's what happened. By the time I become a mom, things shifted for me, but I didn't know how and what is it, right? Because I didn't have support or coaches or whatever. And hold on, I'm looking. You had to cut out. What country I'm from? I'm from Romania. Yes, thank you for asking. Romania. And something shifted for me, and I didn't know what is it. All I knew was that I have a different responsibility, and my life is not just about me anymore, right? I have this little human that I need to raise, and I'm responsible for how he's gonna grow up. So by the time my son was 3.5, I got my first divorce from his dad. And what happened was, it was very difficult to be a young, but in my cultural opinion, old woman. I was 33, I was old for them. To be a young single mom divorced. And as a woman, I didn't get to raise my voice. I remember I decided right after the divorce, I decided to buy a piece of land and build the house that I always wanted. So I did. I bought a piece of land, I got an architect, I hired a team, and I started building the house. And when I went to the construction warehouse to order the materials, right, the bricks, the cement, the everything that was required, they asked me, where's your husband? And I said, I don't have a husband. It's like, well, you can build a house. So they didn't want to serve me. They literally did not want to do an invoice for me because they asked me to come back with a man, with the husband. So what I did is like when you see in mafia movies, right? I went to the bank, I pull out the cash, and I went back there with the bricks of cash. And this was the only way that I could purchase the things that I needed so I could build a house. And I still didn't know what to do with that. And I still didn't know how to stand up for myself. I just kind of looked for solution. I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I don't have a man, so they're not going to give me an invoice. They're afraid that I'm not going to pay it. So let me go get some cash. I found the solution, but I still didn't know how to stand up for myself and how to speak up for myself, right? So, and a lot happened, the judgments and limitation and whatnot, until I make a decision like there is no way in hell that I'm gonna raise my kid here. I'm not raising my kid here. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, what's gonna happen, where we gonna go. I decided to move to the United States. So, I prepared some pictures for you guys. Let me share really quick, if I manage to do that. Share the screen. Here we are. So I moved to United States. This was July 8, 2009. That picture we took the day that we arrived in United States. My kid was 6 at the time. Look at that cutie. So we moved. It was a crazy decision. I know, I was blonde with short hair. Don't judge. So we moved. I didn't know what the hell I'm gonna be doing, how the things will work out, but all I knew is that I need to change the environment. I was not aware that I could change my belief system or I get to do healing or forgiving work and all that. I was not aware of that. All I knew is to change the environment. So that's why I built a house. You could see that now, right? I built a house because I thought that's gonna put me back into my own power, but it didn't, right? So long story short, we moved in United States. We have no friends, no family. It was just the two of us, and we didn't speak English either. So of course, that rapidly end up into, I met a man that made me feel the best of the best of the best, and we got married, and we've been happily married for about a month. And that turned into an abusive relationship. That it took me another year to actually get out of it. And again, I don't want to go through all the details. There is a whole book about it. But I just want to share with you guys that it doesn't matter what the circumstances are, we get to show up for our life, and there is always a solution. And actually, I would dare to say there is always more than one option to choose, to decide, and to go for. Um, of course, we move around. We live in Jersey, we live in Virginia, we live in Minnesota, we change so many addresses. Oh my God, my kid was in a different school every year. And finally, I work on my paperwork to get my authorization for work, to get my green card, and so on. And then years later, I think 6-7 years later, we moved to New Zealand, 2016. This is the picture when we land. This is in Auckland, New Zealand airport. So we moved to New Zealand. Now I'm married with a new man at this point, and my son is starting high school. And it's when I decided that I will no longer work for somebody else, and it's time for me to go back to school and just learn how to do this. Like everything that I went through, it can't be just for me. I could use it to help other people, but I didn't know what is it, right? So I find out coaching, and I got all that certificates and everything that is required. Now, a little bit after that, the biggest event that happened in my life was my son coming out. And when he came out, was not so much about him, claim that he is gay, but was more when I encouraged him to come out to his friends. He asked me the provocative question: "Did you have to come out as straight?" And that was a really transformational moment for me. I really dug into all the beliefs that I ever had and look at it, and I just experienced a different level of discrimination. Like why some people need to come out, some people don't need to come out. What some people are accepted for who they are, and some people are not. And yes, he asked that. He asked that. Thank you for asking, Marty. He asked that when I encourage him to come out, he says, "Mom, did you have to come out as straight? What do I have to come out as gay?" And I'm like, that's a good question. And it's not that he asked that question for the first time or other people didn't ask sense, but it's like that was the first time when I hear it from my kid. And that was the first time that I hear it, and nobody asked me like, "Hey, you didn't have to go through this experience just because you are not gay," right? So that shifted everything in my business. At that point, I was working with parents because that's what I knew best, like how to parent as a single mom throughout the country, and just building a great relationship with my kid, regardless of the circumstances that we went through. But with this little piece, I start focusing on LGBTQ community and really start advocating for them. I put together a podcast, I interview people around the world, and that was that work, raising my voice for others. Do you guys hearing that? Is raising the voice for others, taking a stand for others. Of course, it started with my kid, but then there are like millions and millions of people in the same situation, with the same limitation, with the same discrimination. And here's what I learned. I learned that when we show up for others and we raise our voice for others, when things are happening for us. And before you know it, I was invited to give a TEDx talk. And this is the idea that I challenge a gender for every human body. And as I say, this is the first public appearance on stage ever for myself and also in my second language. And to be honest, I hide from this experience for months and months after. Why? Because my story was still not healed. I was still in hiding. Yes, I was doing the things. Yes, like everything that I did in my business is just, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense how in like now, let's see, this is the 4th year of my business. In 4th year, I moved from United States to New Zealand, from New Zealand back to United States. I'm in LA now. I married, I divorced, I got my kids for high school, I opened a business, I published a book, and then a podcast, and then a TEDx talk, and now I have a bestseller, my memoir. Like none of that makes sense, right? But, and I keep saying that, and I promise you I'm gonna stop saying that starting today. Because it does. It makes sense because of my story, because where I have been up until now. And even with this TEDx talk, when this happened, I was still in hiding about the piece of my story that I didn't know anybody else to know. So therefore, I just dive deeper. I dive deeper into the inner work, into the healing. I hire support, I hire coaches, therapists, just name it. And by the time other pieces come out, pieces that were locked in my memory, like that shit is real. When you go to a traumatizing experience and it's so traumatizing that you don't even remember about it. It's in my book. I'm not gonna talk about that. But that's what happened. And it was a fraction of a second and I'm like, oh God, nobody could ever know about this. And I was like, oh shit, this is exactly what it needed to be published. So then, of course, pulling out the friends, the accountability for the coaches, the therapists, and just do the healing around that. And that ended up in becoming the book. This is how my book looks like for the first time. When I just put it on the wall in my office, and the phases that the reader will go through, and the chapters, and what story goes where. And then today we are here. Today we are here. It had #1 new release in 2 different categories on Amazon. Got the best-selling book seal, and just very fresh since last month. The high school girls from Melbourne, Australia, Methodist Ladies College, they request my book to be in their library for the girls to read as an inspiring story and what's possible for a woman in this world. I'm just sitting with this for a minute. I'm still processing this impact. And honestly, I'm so grateful for all the feedbacks and review on Amazon and places, but I put together a couple of slides of notes that I'm receiving on the private channels. People that email me, people that message me on Messenger or send me texts about how this book impact their life and inspire them to take action in their healing. Those are some of the comments that I got. I have another slide here if you just want to kind of glance through it. So emotions are coming through. We are here to be vulnerable and open and transparent and authentic. Let me stop sharing so I come to see you guys. And this is where we landed with this. This is where I landed with this. And I was wondering, what can I do next? What can I do next? I have some questions, sorry for interrupting, as people are asking for how long the summit will be. Approximately 3 p.m. Pacific every day, approximately. So that's the answer. We are to take a break at, I'm saying Pacific time because that's where I'm at. We are to take a break of 20-30 minutes at noon every day, just to grab a bite, grab some water, and regroup. But yes, we are going approximately to 3 p.m. Pacific every day. Okay? All right. So that's what got me to organizing the summit, is like, what's next? And I say, what's next is, I wanted to do three things. I want to, throughout this time, I was keep thanking everyone that was on my journey and helped me here, because everyone, like absolutely everyone that I ever have a connection with, um, held me together on that, right? So that's why I created the summit, to bring, as I said from the beginning, to bring my colleagues, my friends, my mentors, my clients, everyone that inspire me and help me and support me and teach me and stretch me and listen to me and hear me and allow me to be who I am, and always speak to me, to my potential. I want them to just bring them into the space so that I could present them to my audience and do my best to thank them and to express my gratitude for their participation in my journey. That's one thing. And the other thing, I just want to promote my book. Yes, I do want to promote my book more and more and more and more.